Um, yeah. So Spider-Man Brand New Day has already crossed over 500 million in theaters through the first week of it being released. So we're just past the first week of it being released, and that's $500 million domestically. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
even the worldwide box office at
Worldwide.
this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's already crossed $1 billion worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Incredible movie. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so glad that they were able to drop a movie that was able to make us sort of regain our confidence in Marvel.
Yep.
I feel like they got their swag back.
Mm-hmm.
I am very excited to go over this full spoiler discussion. So I got like a summary, and I'm gonna hit a lot of the topics, just like a lot of the plot points of the movie as we go. When you guys have something to say, just jump in and we'll start discussing it further. So,
Okay.
the movie takes place several years after No Way Home. Peter Parker is completely alone. MJ and Ned don't remember him. So Peter has buried himself into being Spider-Man full time. We started off with a lot of doom, gloom, and despair from Spider-Man. You could tell he was lonely, before jumping off the building, looking at his like Instagram reels of his friends and stuff. And that has to
Mm-hmm.
be a tough way to live, man. It immediately drew
Mm-hmm.
me in, seeing how sort of heartbroken and sad he was,
Mm-hmm.
viewing his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I
it's
like that too. I like seeing Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man mature. Like I like
Right.
that version of Spider-Man. I don't think we've seen that on the big screen.
Yes, yes, and it's cool to see the actual like Tom Holland Spider-Man grow into that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
As you know, he's not like Spider Kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's not
Mm-hmm.
Spider High Schooler. He's not Spider
Yeah.
College guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
really Spider-Man at this point. So
Spider-Man. Yeah.
yeah, seeing some more adult stuff from Peter Parker.
And he doesn't have
Um,
like he didn't have the Tony Stark stuff on.
yeah,
So he wasn't
yep,
Yeah.
Iron
Yeah.
Boy. Like he
yep.
was full on Spider-Man.
Yep. Yep. 100% agree. Um, Peter has become an extremely active street level Spider Man, fighting New York criminals, including Scorpion and other supervillains, while occasionally crossing paths with Frank Castle, aka Punisher. Peter and Frank have an antagonistic big brother, little brother type relationship. What did you guys think of the relationship between the Punisher and Spider Man in this movie?
Mm, I liked it. It fit the movie really well. The only problem I had is that I think in any kind of altercation, Spider-Man just beats the brakes off the Punisher, and
Oh, for sure.
that I that's and I kind of I think when they initially had what Punisher is supposed to be is he usually goes against street level non soups, and that was his niche in the Marvel universe, and that's who he was supposed to be fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed to be going against. I mean, he goes against a handful of people who are soups
Mm-hmm.
in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my only real like tiny like complaint about that part. But overall, I
Yep.
thought he fit it well.
I
Yep.
love the relationship, the big brother little brother relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
love how they gave more character development to Frank Castle. I thought it went a, on a bit too long. I had some of the same issues where I felt like if Spider-Man is going against like a top-notch villain, he's just out of place. And towards the end of the movie, he was kind of out of place for me. I didn't believe that he would. I didn't believe he would work out there in those roles. And I don't want to touch on the summary, but as the movie got down, he was dealing with some of the villains they were dealing with, or some of the people he was fighting. I just didn't feel that. I didn't think he would be the person Spider-Man would need to team up with. And I know they didn't want to team him up with another like Avenger in this movie, but it felt like Frank Castle was a little out of place for me. I
Mhm.
loved it at the beginning, but towards the end, I was just like, I don't think he would fit in this situation
Mhm.
to really help. He wouldn't help Spider-Man in that situation.
Yeah. I think comic book
Well,
Punisher was a lot more like hardcore and more of a loner.
Hmm.
So
right.
to see this
Mm-hmm.
one have a little bit more of the feels for someone in any sort of direction
Hmm.
Like
Mhm.
it was a little jarring, but I mean, like I've come to
Yeah.
expect that a little bit more, and
Out
I
of this
know that they're
version.
gonna
Yeah.
out of this version, you're gonna see a little bit more heart than what we would normally see out of a Punisher.
Yes. And it's they're trying to put Punisher in like the PG-13 world.
Yep.
And
And,
and
and I don't
like
like that.
I don't like it either. And it was like it was a scene in the movie where they had to keep reminding you, like, if his family died, like, that's
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah.
Because like MJ opens up the like
The
closet
cabinet.
door,
Cabinet.
the
Yeah.
Yep.
cabinet. He's like,
Yep.
close it up, close it up, close it.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. It's like
Yeah.
his family died. That's his motivation.
Yep.
And so it was just that, but I don't know if I like him in the, like you were saying, in the PG-13 world.
Yep.
Mm-mm. I
Yeah.
don't like that at all. I mean, I think that's why I think he felt out of place in this movie.
Mhm.
And like, to me, the fact that again, we're in full spoiler at the moment. He
Yep.
goes against Big Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, but all three of us in this little stream are human. And there's a part of you that goes, this is too big
I'm
for
good
me.
here.
I
Yep.
can't do it. No, I don't care how heavily armed I am. If I'm looking across the way, I know what shooting that guy in the face does to him, and I need to not. I need to go home.
I need to
Mhm.
not.
I
like
need
that.
to go home.
I need to not.
Not. I'm a human. If he gets a Hulk, I remember I literally thought in the movie, there's no way that Hulk is gonna touch him, because if he gets one hand on him, Punisher's dead.
Yeah.
And if they go, oh, he survived this, no, he didn't. He would not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
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 What I was expecting to have happen was that Punisher, and this happened a few different times in the comics, but Punisher, this is how I thought it was going to play out. The way that Spider-Man ended up getting that damage control shocker gauntlet thing that he had, I thought somehow, some way, if we got more, and this is one of the things I didn't like, I don't think we had enough Hulk, but
Yes.
if he was going to take him on, I thought he was going to get one of his suits from the comics that was sort of like a Punisher Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Like War Machine
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
I thought that he would get that.
Yeah.
Now that way
Yeah.
he would be able to sort of hang
Yes.
with the Hulk, not in any way beat him, but he'd be
Yeah.
able to hang with him at least. So
he can survive a hit, maybe. But
yeah,
that's sort of-
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Even that part for me is a little, that's why I felt like they were kind of in the wrong spot. Like, I mean, it was fine, okay, until you added the Hulk to it, and then it was like, wait a minute, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. He should not be here. He should not be here at all.
In any way.
Yeah.
I did, since we're talking about Punisher real quick, I did enjoy the fight scene between them. Even though it wasn't really realistic, I did enjoy the way that Spider-Man was sort of teaming up with them, and like the one shot with Hulk jumping over them and Spider-Man sort of in the air and pulling Punisher underneath him, and he's got his gun and shooting up. Like, that was dope. It looked great. And that's one thing that I gotta say about this movie. It was shot in a spectacular fashion.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like, it was, I mean, amazing. Just some of the flying, not flying through the city, but like swinging through the city scenes, especially in the beginning, like the shot of him that you can see inside of his mask. That was cool.
Felt like the video game.
Yep. Yeah. And I've seen a comparison that some people said that they took a little bit too many liberties stealing directly from the video game, but I mean, it looks great. I mean, what are you gonna do?
If you did take it, it's yours.
Yeah,
take
it was great. It was great. If anybody's gonna take it, it should have been them.
Right.
So, yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Jumping back into the summary real quick, it says Peter seeks help from Bruce Banner, now teaching at Empire State University. Bruce uses an inhibitor device to suppress Hulk, which gives Peter the idea of building technology capable of controlling his own mutation. So, of course, Peter during the movie was struggling with his powers evolving and him sort of mutating into more of a spider. Now, that inhibitor, let's talk about that real quick, because I think that little portion with the inhibitor is going to play a huge role as we move forward into the mutant saga. I think that inhibitor, and this is just my theory that I've heard other people say too, so I can't just like say it's just mine. But I feel like that inhibitor is going to come into play with, should we get a larger, more powerful damage control and more, William Stryker appearing and using that inhibitor or trying to capture mutants so that they can have that inhibitor placed on them to suppress their powers. And I think that's going to be an ongoing conflict for the X-Men and the mutants in the next saga. And then just having that little wrinkle that Peter created it is going to be interesting. And I guarantee you we're going to get a call back at some point where Peter is going to interact with Jean and they're going to have a conversation about that and say like, hey, you made this, like, you're the reason for this. And then we can get Peter / Spider-Man being sad about that too, because Spider-Man's already kind of depressed. So yeah, that'll be something that's definitely going to come into play.
Yep, I think so too.
Then of course we got the big reveal of Sadie Sink's character being Jean Grey. I thought that was well done. This was the spoiler that I spoke about previously on one of our episodes that I knew about, that was heavily rumored. I actually, there's a channel called Den of Nerds. I love it. I love that channel. But he actually nailed this probably close to a year ago.
Wow.
And like nobody else had it. He figured it out. And I don't know if he stole it from somebody else, but he was the first person that I seen discuss it and say that, she had to be Jean. And his reasoning was because when Kevin Feige was trying to bring Marvel back and they started, brainstorming everything for Doomsday and Secret Wars and all that stuff, they said that he was like directly hands-on with everything. So like all the scripts, everything had to go through him. The only time they said that he took a break was to cast Sadie Sink as a mystery character in the upcoming Spider-Man movie. So there aren't a whole lot of characters that Sadie Sink would sort of fit the mold for, but just looking at her, Jean Grey would be one of them. And that's kind of where he was able to base that from, and it definitely ended up being true. So yeah, it was cool to see that character appear in something like this. Do you guys have a problem? And I know some people did, but do you guys have a problem with them debuting an X-Men character in a Spider-Man movie?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't have a problem with them debuting her in the movie. Now, I tried to stay completely away from all the spoilers, the rumors. I stayed off of social media. I didn't watch it. I tried to stay away from anything relating to this movie because I didn't want to know. I kind of knew they were gonna lead you up into Doomsday, and then so I just stayed away. Now, if you're a casual comic book fan, within like 20 minutes, you knew it had to be Jean Grey. You knew Jean Grey was behind it. Like I didn't feel any type of suspense behind it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is Jean Grey. Even before they revealed her, even before you see the character in the back of the car for the first time, I'm like, this has to be Jean Grey. This has to be Jean. Like I know where this is going. And so that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But no, overall, generally speaking, I didn't have a problem with them debuting her. I thought she did really well in the movie. I liked the character, but it's just the suspense I kind of lost it because I'm like, okay, this is the only person that could be Jean. So his character has to be Jean. And so that was kind of disappointing. But no, I didn't have, to answer your question, I didn't have a problem with them debuting an X-Men character in the movie.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't either, but I think I did. I must have stayed out of it altogether, and I think I was more intrigued by. I thought maybe I was thinking they were trying to bring in a new character, and they only showed the mind hopping part, and I was like, okay, that's not really anybody in the X-Men's power, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't hop like that. And it's not. So I think that's kind of like I was just there for the ride, enjoying how well they were doing, and I think I got it a little bit later, and I just was like, oh crap, like, and then it all clicked. But you're just, I really, really thought they did it well. I thought they did it well. I don't have a problem with it. If you do it right, I don't have a problem with this at all.
Mhm.
And they did it right.
I was gonna say, considering the fact that I was spoiled, it was sort of a relief to see that happen and her not be playing a different character, because they had rumored like Typhoid Mary and Shathara, like who's a Spider Queen lady. Like, no, they're not gonna. They wouldn't get Sadie Sink and sign her to a 4-picture deal to have her play some one-off random character in this movie. So and they said that during the filming they actually they have different cuts, so they called her like 6 different names because they didn't want to actually call her Jean. So that they didn't want, that's how hard they didn't want the spoilers to get out for that. So I'm impressed that they were able to keep it under wraps as long as they did. Transitioning on, we can talk about the Peter, MJ, and Ned dynamic a little bit. Of course, Peter knows that MJ and Ned are back in New York City and that they graduated from MIT. He kind of creepily worked his way back into their life, like showing up at that party. Showing up at that party. I get it though. He was a lonely dude and he wanted to see his friends. I don't know if I would have done that though, because that just would have been too much of a tease for me. Like, if I can't actually be with them, I don't want to just go and hang out with them.
Did anybody else kind of wonder if like they had Ned and MJ together, like as a couple? Because I was trying to figure out, like, are they? Because I know it's a PG thing, but I was like, are they a couple in this? Because they act like a couple, and I have some girls. I mean, younger, I had girls who were friends. I didn't do that. I didn't have like that. I didn't, and I had some girls I was really good friends with and close to, but I never ever thought, hey, we should, get a room, be roommates, like
get a crib together. No, I wouldn't throw myself into a situation like that.
No, I wouldn't. But did anybody else feel like that was?
I didn't. I honestly didn't. But I could see how somebody could. Yeah.
But they waited for a little while before that came out, and then you're just like, you have a boyfriend, but you're living with Ned.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Yeah. I mean, if Ned,
that was weird.
Ned's not really threatening though. I mean,
really, exactly. He doesn't appear as a threat.
But I mean, that's the dude I'd probably be worried about. Like, dude, that guy's gonna creep on my girl the second I turn my eye.
Right. best friend. Yeah. Okay.
Best friend.
Okay. Right. MJ eventually learns that Peter is Spider-Man and reads the letter that Peter wrote explaining their history and Doctor Strange's spell. It does not magically restore her memories. That portion of the movie I was okay with, especially like I halfway expected them to immediately have her like re-fall in love with him. But I'm glad that they showed restraint and didn't have that happen. Like, so that was an awesome sort of twist that I wasn't expecting, because you get into movie mode and you're like, oh, she's gonna remember him, and and it wasn't like that. She was like, hey man, like I know what we apparently used to be, but I don't know you. Like I don't know you. So this is weird now.
The current MJ though, doesn't it? She's a realist. So she's
yes.
Kind of not very trustful, and I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It fits the current MJ a lot, I think.
Yep. And then the fact that she had him take her home after she dissed him and said, bro, I don't know you.
Right.
Like, hey, I need you to give me a ride though.
I can't get out here.
The following scene was cool though, to see them sort of like hanging out again. You could see the chemistry. Like, and that's the one thing that I could say about this group around Peter, and that they have nailed through all the movies, is the relationship between Peter, MJ, and Ned. Like they have nailed that relationship, like nailed it. And you get, and like it so much so that you can feel that they're close off screen as well. Not just Tom Holland and Zendaya. But Ned and his the actual Ned's real name. I can't remember his real name.
Whatever it is.
Right. Right.
You'll never
and
see
then
Ned pop up in another movie after this. So.
one more thing, one more thing that I could say about this. Yeah, what could he do next? That'd be odd.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be odd. But one
He
thing
did
I
a
can
commercial
say,
recently though. I saw him.
Did he
I was
really?
like, dude, Ned got a commercial?
oh man. One thing that I can say, this movie was very, very, very well acted.
Oh yeah.
The seeing Peter sort of in despair and like lost was really cool. The scene where MJ was telling him that like, hey, like I just don't know you. Like I felt that. Like I was like, oh man, like that was
real,
rough. That was rough.
That's how it should be in the real world.
Exactly. Yeah. Sadie Sink jumping into MJ's body was something that I picked up on about halfway through that scene. I was like, oh no, like are they gonna do that? Like especially once she like sort of remembered who he was and then like kissed him and stuff. I was like, and then they revealed that, you know, it was Jean Grey like really controlling her mind. I was like, oh, they went full creeper with her too. Like that was interesting. That was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I like that scene, but I seen it coming. I seen that scene coming too far. Because it was like she obviously got there before Spider-Man got there. And then like when they landed on the roof, after he had swung her all around New York, she just immediately started to question him. Like, why are you always here? We've known each other before, right? I was like, no, I'm not feeling that.
Something's wrong.
Right.
Something's up with that.
Yeah, my spidey sense was tingling on that one too.
Exactly.
Exactly. And one line that MJ Jean said that was really cold was like how she was explaining how like there was really nothing there of him in her mind, and how she was saying how that how bad that must make Peter feel. I was like, dang, she's going for like gut punches, man. Like,
calm down, Jean.
Right? Like, relax, yo. Like you trying to hit people hard, and she off the person. She threw that dude in front of the taxi cab. Like, which was I wasn't expecting that either. I was like, dang, like you really offing people? Okay, all right. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Peter MJ Ned dynamic. As we get closer to the end of the movie, of course, she ended up taking over the Hulk for a little bit. We had that awesome scene of the fight between the Hulk and Punisher and Spider-Man. Really cool to see that. I thought it was over a little too quickly. So that kind of made me a little angry. Just that it was over so fast. Like I wanted to see more. Just when Hulk got going, then he sort of switched back a little bit and realized what he was doing. And that just made me a little sad. I was like, dang, I want to see more of that.
Well, I mean, I think we all want to see more like a good Hulk, but I think people forget we haven't had a Hulk movie in a long time. There's never been a Mark Ruffalo movie. It's just been him in something else. It's always been him tied and the last time we saw the Hulk, he was kind of gray Hulk. He was this half smart,
his Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk,
which I was like,
I was over it.
Okay, but the thing we like about the Hulk is Hulk smash, and he looked like the monster that I knew and loved. Like when he was Green Monster Hulk, I was like, that's the Hulk I love, and why can't we have that in a movie? But I think their problem that they keep running into is they can't find who do you pit him against that you have to question if you can beat him. And he works great as an accessory, and so no, I don't know. That's my take on that. I want another Hulk movie, but I think the problem they have is who do you really put him against? Because he was great in what was it? It wasn't Love and Thunder. It was Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Yeah, he was excellent.
Great.
He was like he might have been the best part of that whole movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, in a movie that was amazing. That's probably one of my favorites. That really is a fun ride that I thoroughly enjoyed. He was great. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. I enjoyed so many parts of that movie, but he was a supporting character. That was, and really, that's all he was. And This one in the Avengers, same thing, supporting, but not. Yeah, and I'm fine with that. But he just, I don't know if they're gonna do it, but I do want more. I don't think we're gonna get it anytime soon.
One thing that we got during this movie that I failed to mention is 4 words: Yelena in the hot tub, which was a peak point in the movie for me. I really I enjoyed her being in the movie, but on a more serious note, one thing that I liked, right? One thing that I did like, one thing that I did like about, one thing that I did like about this movie is that it was, and I told you this already, Steve, but it was the first, even more so than the Avenger movies, to me, it felt like a real comic in that you had characters that don't really make sense interacting, all part of a cohesive story. And like that's how it is in the comics. Like you'll have a Iron Man comic where somebody random like Wolverine shows up and they're they're interacting or something. Like that's how this should be. And this, to me, this was the first movie where I really felt like that. Like this is a random hodgepodge of people being together in this movie, because we literally had we had an X-Men, we had an Avenger. We had two Avenger. We had one old Avenger and one new Avenger, and then we had Punisher too. So like it was cool to see like the teams coming together and meshing like that. That was dope. And then it was written in a way that was believable. It didn't seem like it was forced. Like they didn't make Yelena Belova like fight or anything like that. She was just like an accessory in the movie. Like it was cool. It was really cool. Seeing that little scene where she was on the computer and like Ned and MJ looked in and they were like, is that Black Widow? And they're like, that was really cool to see like those little bits of interaction like that. So big shout out to Destin Daniel Cretton for writing and directing an amazing movie.
Great job.
Let's jump to the climax real quick. We had Jean Grey she was already at the damage control facility. We figured out what VMAX was, which was just the site that the last thing that her sister saw. Which it was okay. I was expecting a little bit more but I understand why they did it, because at least in my mind, this is why they did it. Because initially they showed Jean and Sarah, and that Sarah was the more powerful and like older. So she like taught Jean how to do things. So what this was showing was that even though Sarah was about to be unalived, her powers were growing as well, because she was able to telepathically send that image to Jean. So it kind of like gave us a little bit of a preview of what Jean was going to be able to do a few minutes later, in that her powers were evolving as well. So like I understood that, like in a movie aspect, I understood that. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, but like I got what they were doing. And then we had
they can't really like show how powerful she really is yet though. We have to see a build, because if they came out with like the Jean that we like, the not even Phoenix Jean, but just unblocked Jean Grey, we're just gonna be like, there's no one who beats this person. There just isn't, and nobody in that movie could handle Jean Grey at peak. Like nobody. So
and I mean like the Jean that they're building towards now makes me think that 6-8 years from now we get Phoenix Jean Grey. And like you can go back to this and see like, she did always kind of have a little bit of something going on. Like she was, because remember she when she had possessed all of those people, she said that if what's his name, Metzger, didn't like say something to her or say something like that, she was gonna like eliminate all of them. So you could already see that like she's a little edgy and she don't even really know what she's doing yet. So that's gonna be interesting. Yes. That's gonna be interesting. And KR in the chat, I see KR, he says not the Phoenix arc again. Yeah, I think eventually we're gonna get it. I think we
Yes.
might be okay with it once we are so far removed, because then we'll be like close to 14, 15 years from the last
Yeah.
time we saw it. So
Yeah.
Well,
um
the last time they did it so dirty that you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
this is a major thing. Can y'all please not again?
Yeah.
Again, that falls into the things that Marvel didn't do right. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they tried, but still, no.
Yep. So then we eventually had Peter reaching Jean emotionally by connecting her grief over Sarah with his own losses, particularly Aunt May, and the life that MJ and Ned the life with MJ and Ned that he sacrificed. Jean finally begins to calm down. Punisher didn't realize that Peter had gone to try to save her, so he fired his shot, and Peter sort of moved her out the way, and he ends up getting shot by
Himself,
a 50 cal.
Yeah.
And because he's Spider-Man, he was okay, but anybody else that would have like ripped him in
Dude.
half.
Yeah.
Like,
From that
have you
far
seen
away,
a 50 cal bullet before? Like
Mhm.
things
From that far
like
out.
that.
No.
Like, yeah, that was wild. I kind of like the way that they brought that was clever to me. That was clever. And I was kind of wondering, like, I saw Punisher setting up, but I didn't know what he was really doing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, that's what's
Yeah,
happening.
I knew what he was
here.
doing. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna end the threat. I'm gonna do it.
right. Don't blame him either.
Yeah.
But yeah, that ends up happening. So yeah, Peter jumped in front of the bullet. And then that made Jean realize that, like, oh, he sacrificed for me, so she let down her guard and dropped the control
Psionic barrier.
you know,
yeah.
the 3 mile radius that she had under her
Yeah, I know.
control. So yeah, just to see that, man, and to know that she doesn't even know what she's doing yet, but she literally had mind control of people in a 3 mile barrier.
Everybody in that
Like, you can
circle, yeah.
see, like, that's going to be damage control / the mutant, I can't remember what they call them, mutant enforcement agency, I can't remember what they call it, but that's going to be their talking point. Like,
Yep.
they can get anything they want passed at this point, after having a mutant come in and take over, you know, a 3 mile radius of people. They're going to be like, yeah, whatever you need. And then they're going to go directly to trying to attach those inhibitors on people, and we're going to get callbacks to that soon. So yeah, then the ending came, and it says Peter encourages Ned and finally introduces himself as Peter Parker rather than hiding behind another identity. We had, and before that, though, I should say that we had the scene of Punisher hanging out with Peter in the hospital, realizing that Jean was the one who was keeping him alive all of that time, which was pretty cool to see. That was dope to see. Again, flexing her muscles in crazy ways off the top. And we saw Peter leave the hospital by having the Punisher dress up as Spider-Man and jump up and down in the window. Like, that was kind of cool. Still not really Punisher. Like, comic Punisher ain't doing that. He ain't doing that. He might be grateful and thankful and happy for him, but he ain't showing it like that. But anyway, for this Punisher, it did make sense.
He's kind of fun.
And then we sort of ended the movie with Jean appearing to drive upstate New York. One can only imagine. Well, yeah, one could only imagine where she would be going.
Where? I don't know.
We haven't exactly seen a school for gifted individuals yet, but I would imagine that might be where she would be traveling. She was driving north as well, so we know this is in upstate New York. So that'll be interesting. That was a nice way to allude to that. And then finally, you had Peter and Ned do their handshake, and once they finished it, Ned looked at him and said, "Peter." So people were trying to speculate why he was able to do that. Do you think that Jean sort of unlocked something for him? Was it the handshake? Is it because, and this is one theory I heard, was that because Ned is magical, that by doing that, it sort of like broke the spell that was cast on them. And the only reason why they said that, I saw a video, and when when they did their handshake while Ned had his sling ring on in the
Mhm.
last Spider-Man movie, when they finished the handshake, it was like a little spark that
Spark.
sort of jumped
Yeah.
off. Yeah, so they were saying that them
Mm.
doing that again was him casting another spell, which was able to help him unlock his memory.
That's interesting.
So, and yeah, I was
Mhm.
like, interesting theory. I don't know if I believe it, but
Nerd
interesting
theories, I
theory.
like it. I like
Yep,
it. Yeah.
yep. So,
Nerdy theories,
um,
but
yeah, that was pretty much it. Then we had our post-credit scene, of course, with Spider-Man Tracker and detecting Spider-Man off-world. We don't really know where that's going. A lot of theories about with that it could have been
Mhm.
another
Tons.
Spider-Man.
Mhm.
It
Is
could
it gonna
be
be Miles
Spider-Man.
Morales?
Yep,
Is
it's
it
gonna be
gonna be
Miles
Venom?
Morales. Yep, it
Mhm.
could be Venom. It could be Spider-Man
Miles-
being transported to Battle World.
That's
Um,
one I've heard too.
all sorts of things. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
out
pretty
the
much
year,
it. If I guess we coming up on an hour and a half. But if you guys had to rate it as far as Spider-Man films go, where would you rate this one in the 4 movies that we've had? Of just the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. We'll have another discussion one day of where we rate it amongst all the Spider-Man movies.
Mm.
I like this is it's a close one. This is a really close one. But I still like Spider-Man. What's the last one? No Way Home.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still like No Way Home better. But like we talked about this earlier, No Way Home was kind of almost like a mini Avengers movie,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
like this one. This one gave me that neighborhood Spider-Man feel that I love from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it's a real tight one for me, but I might give No Way Home the
Mhm.
edge on it.
Yep, it was definitely more epic. It was
Mhm.
more epic. It was more epic. What do you think, James?
I think that Brand New Day is like my number one now, and again it's tight because I did like I did like No Way Home, but I liked it more for like the fact that there were so many bad guys and
Yeah.
different types
Mhm.
of things coming.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it was
Mhm.
fun to see like all of them together, but then and be themselves but not themselves, and
Mhm.
kind of, and then on top of that seeing all 3 Spider-Man together, that's
Mhm.
pretty epic too. But
Mhm.
this new one
Mhm.
just touched like it got the formula right, and you had all, I mean, a very tight race, but I gotta give the newest one that like the nod. So
Yes, and this question goes out to chat as well. So if you guys had to rate this one, where would you rate it? If you've seen it already. But yeah, I would probably rate this one as the best Spider-Man movie for me. And then, sort of segue into what the other question as far as like overall Spider-Man movies, I think this one is, oh man, it's either 1 or 1A with Spider-Man 2. It's like that Spider-Man 2 is an incredible
Yeah,
movie.
that's incredible.
Just like it's that,
Yeah.
and like I said, I don't even think that Toby is the best Spider-Man, but
True.
that movie
It's great.
was incredible. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember
Mhm.
watching that
Yeah.
and finishing it, and even then I knew that like, oh, I just watched something special. Like
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
that was a thing. I need to go back and watch it. I haven't watched it in a long
Mhm.
time.
Watched it
But
last
yeah.
year.
Did
Yeah.
you? Nice. But yeah, this one I feel rates right up there with it. As far as the writing, the storytelling, the crispness of the story that was told. I feel like this was a complete like Spider-Man story.
Mhm.
And it had so many elements that made me come to appreciate Tom Holland and his portrayal of Spider-Man. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is the best of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
But and I would rate it either, yeah, it's right there with Spider-Man 2 for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
pretty high.
yeah, very high. So yeah, that will end our conversation on Spider-Man Brand New Day.